Alright, and once again we're back here on the Nexus Gaming Series. Match 2 of the night, Team GG versus Reborne. A little bit of a late start, but right away, jumping right into it, before I can even mute the music, we have a ban on Shimada Brother number 1, and there's Shimada number 2. Fuck you, Overwatch. Greymane, first pick. It's like HGC all over again. As Team GG, kind of right now sitting kind of in the middle of Division A. They have a couple draws, a couple losses, but drawn a couple good teams. I think they have potential. Reborn, though, I got a chance to cast them against Macaroni and Cheese, two of certainly the top 3 teams, Team Caliber's in that mix in Division A. So they're definitely the favorites heading into this map. We'll see if that holds as we work our way through the draft. Greymane first pick, about as vanilla as it gets at this point. But the first map's going to be Battlefield of Eternity. Map 2 going to be Infernal Shrines. So we got a couple Diablo maps lined up for you. Greymane, of course, pretty good on this map. Let's see who choice number 2 is. Lucio ETC. So not getting your Immortal Burn yet. Just getting that reliable best tank in the game, best support in the game. Be interesting to see now. Do you grab a tank? Do you grab a support? I imagine you have to grab one of the two before the next phase. Although maybe not, but I think you certainly have to grab a warrior, even if it's just your solo lane. We shall see. It's going to be interesting. So Team GG, you may notice the Minnesota logo. It is actually Team Golden Gopher. They represent the University of Minnesota. New team to Nexus Gaming Series. Always welcome to have new teams. They're kind of using this as practice for Heroes of the Dorm. As we see Anubrak Stukov, so they're actually going to get both. And I like that pick. I like it a lot. You have the Silence from Stukov. You have the Cocoon from Anubrak. And you could actually potentially Cocoon Lucio and then drop the Silence so you can't Sound Barrier coming out to guarantee a blow-up. On the other side, we have Reborn, and these guys have been at Nexus Gaming Series for a while. A lot of experienced players on the team Reborn. And they're setting up, actually, for Nexus Open Division, or for HGC Open Division, which will be run by Heroes Hype, and that starts up pretty soon. It'll be interesting to see kind of how both teams use NGS to springboard them towards bigger and better things. But Stukov Anubrak. So the Anubrak is interesting because there are actually quite a few counters, but what it does do is it does deny potentially a Li Ming. Or at least they could ban a Li Ming from the standpoint of Li Ming breaks Cocoon very fast. And it also would deny them a poke, force them to engage into that Stukov Silence. Anubrak. Gonna ban out the Tracer though. One's interesting. Might be a scouted option. Tracer can be very good on this map. Can actually wreck a Nubrak pretty hard. If the Cocoon's broken, can break Cocoon quickly. And the auto attacks just do a lot of damage because it's not spell damage. So Tyrael ban though. Pretty powerful. He's been pretty strong with his rework. Really interested to see what happens with him once he's in HGC. Really just see Blaze, actually. It's going to be Blaze Pass, Blaze enabled starting tomorrow. So no Tyrael rework yet, but it'll be fun to see. You see Lucio, what are they going to pair with this? They need something that can burn the Immortal. And with the low health pools, I don't think Mathael is a great choice. Could be a Sonya. Sonya's not a bad pick. Could even be something like a Leoric or a Dahaka. It's gonna be Sonya Vala. So Vala's gonna be their Immort burner. Sonya's gonna be the solo lane. Now Vala is a bit diveable. As actually, I'm gonna have to immediately correct. I have the teams once again for the second time tonight on the wrong side. So actually Reborn is on the left. So hashtag NA lol, T-Tors, production value. You get the jokes. But gonna have Reborn on the left and Team GG on the right. Excuse me. It's actually Reborn. Now, with their last picks, gonna go Junkrat Malthael. Now, Malthael really strong into the comp of Team GG, provided that Lucio gets disabled. So if you disable Lucio with a Cocoon, you can immediately engage hard with the Tormented Souls and Greymane. Cursed Bullet could actually be decent, although I would expect to go for the Throat. As, we're going to see, so the last pick. So, Junkrat gives them some poke. Malthael gives even more Immort Burn. Very strong zoning on the side of Reborn. Very strong Immortal Burn. A little bit squishy. Let's see. What is there? Are they going to bring a pick in to help protect Vala, or are they going to bring in a pick to try to punish Squishy?
Let's fly.
It's going to be potentially a little both. You have... That pick's interesting. So you have Mighty Gust to disengage. Although Mighty Gust doesn't get as much value when you're fighting around the Immortal. There's just... It's too narrow. It can be okay, by all means, but not as good as it would be on, say, a map like Cursed Hollow. But, Team GG going with kind of an older meta here, although based around that Lucio ETC combo that's very strong. We're seeing kind of a newer-ish meta on the side of Reborn, going with things like Anubarak Stukov that have been pretty popular in the last week or so. Obviously based around a Greymane who has not gone out of style, but then also the Junkrat. Interesting comps from both teams. I think I like the comp from Reborn better, just because it seems more forward-looking in the meta. Whereas the comp out of Team GG may be a bit more backward-looking. But we'll have to see as we jump into the map. And on the left side, we're going to have Reborn. Reborn going to be led by Direk, the captain, on Anubarak. Crosby going to be on Stukov. Unaverted going to be on Junkrat. Ragnarok going to be playing the Greymane. And up in the top lane, we're going to have Showtime. Going to make it some Showtime on the Malthael. Patches going to be playing Sonya, and then the bottom, Subnova on Vala. Blaze TD going to be on Lucio. StarFox64 on ETC, and Devo going to be on the Falstad. Pretty standard 4-1 lane split initially, but it looks like Sonya coming mid at the moment, as is Falstad. Now, Falstad might actually be potentially a better matchup in the Malthael, but if he gets hit by E, he can get deleted. But it looks like that's the direction they're going to go. ETC has not picked a level 1 yet. We are seeing popping pustules out of Stukov. I'm excited by that. That AoE slow potential is very strong. Direk right now, baiting the enemy over to the side. Junkrat going to drop the mine just to separate out. Popping pustules, my goodness. We are seeing Fear the Reaper. We are seeing that cocktail build. ETC going with Block Party, actually, to deal with this Greymane. But there's a big root onto Patches. Patches going to take quite a bit of damage. Now, Direk, though, a little bit low. Going to get the slam. Ragnarok comes in, gets a lot of chunk damage onto Starfox. Patches, though, going to eat the Anubarak spines. Patches getting interrupted out of Whirlwind and going to drop. So an early win there by Reborn. Kind of baiting Sonya into a dive and then countering with that Anubarak. I like it quite a bit. I'll turn down the game sounds just a touch. Probably louder than we would like. And now Nova actually getting separated from the rest of the team. So Reborn, killer instinct early. And it looks like Malthael has no problem with the poke from Falstad up in this top lane. So already, right out of the gate, we're seeing Reborn just asserting their strength. They are the favorites in this game. And they are the favorites by pretty reasonable amounts. But they seem to be using their comp effectively. Already grabbing this bottom siege camp. Junkrat and Anubrak doing a great job zoning, preventing any real look at it and invade. And that's going to give them some extra pressure down on bot. Meanwhile, Malthael still doing very well in this top lane. But in come the Giants. Anubrak separating out Blaze TD. Blaze TD now having to rotate around the long way. Cocktail getting quite a bit of damage. There's the silence. Trapping out ETC. ETC and Lucio are both going to go down here. D-Rec going to have the shield. Going to survive the Vala poke. But a not great positioning there by ETC. Not able to power slide back over his wall. Goodness. And with that, unaverted, taking a bit of poke, but already the front wall down on bottom. Mathael already doing quite a bit of damage on top, and Reborne is just setting themselves up. Ooh, now Patch is getting engaged on. ETC going to be able to power slide, save Sonya, but this fort is still taking quite a bit of damage. The Khazra camp is still up. Junkrat actually doing quite a number on Patches. Patch is going to have to full B here. And this is going to allow a very quick burn. Already a level and a half lead on Battlefield of Eternity. Reborne could be in a good spot. Lucio and ETC, the solo burners. Now here comes Vala, having finally dealt with the Khazra camp. D-Rec just going to be an annoyance, going to be a hindrance, going to slow down the burn, but already 50%, and Reborne, they're just going to burn it once again. So, stun onto Mathael, but otherwise, they're already getting the burn quite a bit. Looks like we're going to see an attempt at a defense 5-man. ETC coming in, trying to zone off the members. Reborne, not afraid to back up here. Good power slide into a face melt, but now Star Fox on the wrong side of the team without enough support. Lucio trying to boop away, but just the poke and poison enough to take out ETC. Now Falstad's going to go down. Meanwhile, that whole time, I mean, the burn is back on. Lucio not really getting much in the way of value. And that's going to be a very healthy Immortal going up into top lane. Tower already weak. And this is a good situation for Reborn and a devastating position for Team GG. We're going to have Malthael Sonya in the bot lane, but of course our attention is up with the Immortal. And already with one cannon down, it's not going to be easy for GG to burn down this Immortal. They do at least have Vala's Monster Hunter. But there goes Sonya down here in the bot lane, losing the trade with Mathael. Reborn is just doing so well. Here we go. Now, moving into the point, Vala going to get deleted once again. And already this Immortal onto the keep wall, starting to take damage. Falstad gonna get poked out there, gonna get the silence, but manages to barrel out before it actually hits. D-Rec now a little bit low on HP, gets the heal from Stukov, but oh, a great separation. Falstad gets thrown out by Junkrat. And now it is just a straight burn onto the keep with that Greymane, with that Junkrat, with that Stukov. Gonna get it down about a third of its health, but meanwhile Malthael basically getting the bot fort for free. As I appear to have had some brief momentary lag, I haven't had any drop frames for a bit, so hopefully we'll stay that way. Now D-Rec taking a bit of damage. Here comes the Riptire, though, as level 10s are picked up. Massive shove actually missed by Stukov, but it's still going to be enough to kill Sonya. Now the separation of the Star Fox as Junkrat's on the chase. We have Tormented Souls, we have Go for the Throat, we have Cocoon. And already that fort very low due to Mathael. Mathael does not have the best siege damage. Ooh, there's the Cocoon. On to Vala. And it looks like a route onto ETC going to separate out. And the top keep does, in fact, go down. So, Reborn just asserting their dominance here. 3-level lead. And this is This is not a good position for Team GG, to say the absolute least. They already have to deal with catapults up in the top lane on a map where catapults can get a ton of value. Gonna pick up their bruisers, gonna try to use that to push out top lane. Meanwhile, Matteo managed to take bot siege, gonna force Falstad to clear that. Gonna go and grab the bruisers, but level 10 not even in sight for Team GG. And because there's so much dive on the other team, they can't even really soak safely. They are starting to move up top. Falstad is able to soak bot for the time being, but level 10 is just nowhere in sight, and they're just going to have to give up basically a full shielded immortal. Soaking the top lane, soaking the bot lane. Meanwhile, 50% already there, and they just got level 9 on the side of GG. Falstad now pulling back, worried about the gank coming down, but Reborne just setting their sights on the Immortal. Gonna get, actually a decent burst there, so it's only gonna be about a 70% shielded Immortal. There we go, and actually now this is a very aggressive rotation. Definitely gonna catch up. Sonya is not there for this fight, and the tower is low enough. They could definitely dive it. Respecting this, Team GG has to back up. They almost have their level 10s. Devo out in the wrong position. There comes the charge. Their face melt trying to peel out Falstad, but here comes Matteo. Mighty Gust has to be used as soon as level 10 is picked up. So now you don't have Mighty Gust for this defense. Mosh Pit, we do have Rain of Vengeance, we do have Soundberry, we do have Wrath of the Berserker. The closest thing to a team fight that they're going to get. But already with the wall down with no Mighty Gust, there just aren't a ton of tools here. It's going to require just an absolute killer Mosh, and I just don't see it getting better. There's, once again, onto Stukov onto Lucio with the Cocoon. Riptire going to make sure there's the Cocoon silence into a Riptire. Lucio goes down. This could be GG. 9-minute game. Yep, Falstad's down. That's it. Here comes the Tormented Souls, just going to add insult to injury now. ETC, he's going to drop. Oh no, he manages to drop a Mosh, but dies before he can do anything. Sonya gets some decent damage with Whirlwind, but it's not enough. Subnova going to go down, and Reborne, dominant in game number 1. 15 kills to 0. 9-minute game, 4-level lead. Well done. I am not seeing the lag on my end, and I am watching the stream, John Knight. So I'm not sure what's causing that. I don't believe it's on my end. I have not dropped any additional frames. But let me take a look and see if I can do something with it. We'll be right back while I set up game number 2 and try to figure out these technical issues. Alright, and we're back for game number 2 here between Team GG, who's now properly on the left, and Reborne, who is now properly on the right. Very dominant performance in game number 1 by Reborne. Just a very, very dominant performance. Team GG, meanwhile, gonna have to go back to the drawing board here a little bit. That first game could only have gone a little bit worse than it actually did. And this map right now, it's not as snowbally as Battlefield of Eternity, but with the timings of level ups now, it actually can be very snowbally with the third Immortal specifically, because you can typically get into a level 16 versus like a level 14 type situation there if one team is doing really well. Right out of the gate, Team GG hovering the Lucio ban, perhaps suggesting they want something else here on this map in particular. Gonna switch to the Genji ban. I'm gonna just go out on a limb and guess we'll see a Hanzo ban. Oh my goodness, we saw a Hanzo ban. I am shocked. Shocked, I say. Shocked. And a first pick Greymane. Shocked! So much shock. So much shock. But, could we see an ETC Lucio? Dare we dream? Dare we? If we... Oh, man. Now, it's gonna be Junkrat Arthas. Alright, we see some difference. Yay! Something different happened. Alright, Junkrat... That was picked up by Reborne last time. They had a lot of really good Junkrat mines, kind of taking advantage of a couple positioning slip-ups and really punishing them hard. So I'm liking that is coming back. Arthas pick up here. Good against the Greymane. Pretty much just a strong counter to the Greymane. By the way, thanks Zad for the 300 bits. I don't know what that is in real people money, but I'm going to assume it's at least 5 cents. And therefore, I can buy a gummy bear. Static. No, but seriously, thank you. First time I've ever received bits. You know, makes me happy. But we are going to see Tyrael Lucio. Now, Tyrael has to change the skin. But that is an interesting pick. It's gonna be the Fallen Seraphim. So, happy with that one. Lucio was picked up there to kind of counter the Arthas, and I like the choice. Good draft here out of Team GG. What do they ban now, though? That's interesting. That was a very early Junkrat pick. Do they ban out the Stukov, which is a pretty good support at the moment? I don't know. It is a Stukov hover. Now switching to Mouth. Now Brightwing. Brightwing, Stukov, Mouth. Brightwing, Stukov, Mouth. Brightwing, Stukov, Mouth. Brightwing, Stuk, Mouth. So many support. Wait, they actually went with the Brightwing ban. Okay. They went with the Brightwing ban. Interesting. Is this something they scouted, perhaps? Or maybe they just want to be able to dive super hard, and they don't want Emerald Wind to be there. I mean, with Genji banned, are they going to try to get Mouthail? And then just, like, dive as hard as they possibly can and just kind of hope for the best? What else would go with that? Oh no, I'm trying to think, like, why you go into Brightwing, and that suggests that you want to dive really, really hard. Maybe a Muradin? There's the Stukov. There's the Gul'dan. Getting the Horrify. I like that. You have Flailing Swipe, you have Horrify. So they are going with the Super Dive. If they sank out the Flailing Swipe, you have Horrify, or, you know, they sank out Horrify, you have Flailing Swipe. Either way, Either way. Let's see. Be interesting. Wonder what these last two picks are. Malthael has lost a lot of appeal to me because of the Stukov. And because of the Horrify. It's gonna be Kel'Thuzad. And then Muradin. Okay, so they're gonna rely on blow up. They're going to try to just set up Muradin into Kel'Thuzad and Greymane just blowing up one target. And it looks like we have some trash talk here in chat, which is getting fun. What is the last pick? One issue with Stukov is it does take him a while to get his burst heal out, so there is the potential to get that kill onto a target, and if there isn't already a Q on them, Stukov may not be able to save them. So that's something that could happen. It's going to be... It's gonna be an Uberak. Interesting. Interesting. So there's a lot of sustain damage on the side of Reborn. The burst damage is like a Uberak and Stukov melee, which is kind of cool. A lot of burst damage on the side of Team GG. We'll see if they can execute it. A very, very interesting comp on the side of Reborn. And I'm looking at this comp, and I'm just... I don't know, kind of confused by it, I guess I would say. Like, I'm looking at this comp, and I think... I mean, you have Cocoon Silence, which is never bad. Arthas can do burst damage with Frostmourne Hungers. But we'll see. As here we jump into game number 2. Reborn up 1 on Team GG. We'll take a look at the teams. On the left side, we're going to have Team Golden Gophers. Blaze TDB, going to be on Lucio. Subnova, going to be on Sub-Zero Kel'Thuzad, because it kind of looks cold. This blue. I'll let it go. Starfox 64 on the Demonic Tyrael. Devo, going to be on Greymane. And Patches, going to be on Muradin. And over on the right side, Unaverted, going to be on Junkrat. We have Showtime on Arthas. Crosby once again on Stukov, D-Rek once again on Uberak, and Ragnarok going to be on that Gul'dan. As I somehow apparently clicked Greymane, and so let's see if I can cover this minion so that way that goes away from my screen. Arthas already up alone in the top lane. Poke damage coming onto Kel'Thuzad, actually doing quite a bit already. First wave going to be cleaned up, and then in come the rotations. We are seeing Gul'dan go with the Q build, Barbecue. Crosby going with the expanding Lurking Arm rather than popping Pustules this time around. Trying to get the silence on the Kel'Thuzad to disrupt that burst. Arthas going with the Frostmourne Hungers talent. Very interesting there. Be interesting. Kel'Thuzad going to be key. He's going to need to get stacked up but they can't fall behind in the early game like they did last time if they're going to perform well. As, heading now. Blaze TD just being a little bit annoying, but now Blaze TD not in the best spot. Ooh, there's the burrow charge, but gonna be able to get away unaverted, dodging Kel'Thuzad's stack. Kel'Thuzad still no stacks yet. It's interesting, Muradin actually went into Q build rather than Third Wind, so he's into this much sustained damage. I think Third Wind could be really strong, but that's not gonna be the target there. Junkrat separating out this siege camp, preventing GG from taking it. As both teams seeming to fight over this. Greymane about to finish, actually, the cap here. And I don't think Reborne's in a position to evade. They're not. So Siege Giants come up, but that whole time, Reborne doing a little bit better job soaking. And now on to Kel'Thuzad. There's the silence. Barely going to get away, but going to get away all the same. Erect taking a bit of damage. Devo as well taking some corruption. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we go. And now Icy Talons. So gain 3% attack speed. So this is actually... There's your burst damage right there, actually. Showtime is the burst assassin. He's just gonna build up E to build up his attack speed. And then he's just gonna murk some bitches with his auto attack. Arthas is a burst damage dealer. Okay. I like it. I like it. Let it ride. Let's see what happens. I'm excited now. This is interesting. Thunderbird and no reverb, so yeah. We'll see what happens. Gonna be a mid-shrine. As now we're seeing a contest. Crosby trying to get this out. Silencing onto Devo. Devo gonna drop. Still 2 versus 2. Kel'Thuzad rotating in. But the camp, because Stukov died, the camp was in fact picked up by Team GG. Showing some signs of life here. I like it. Khazra is going to be cleared up pretty quick, though. This whole time, Tyrael soaking the mid. No one has started that shrine yet. Seems both teams want to get up to that level 7. Arthas pushing it up top. Going to be able to get some value in that lane. But going to now start the shrine is Team GG, excuse me. But here comes the rotation in. Now Ragnarok with that Q build, you know, it doesn't kick on yet, but that Qs can definitely nuke these minions. And a great silence on the Team GG, forcing a complete awkward engage. And Blaze TDB down to 13 health and now going to get finished off by a burrow charge. Not the best escape angle attempt there by Lucio, but Lucio, the positioning has been aggressive and has been punished by Junkrat very, very hard in both games now. And that's just something that Lucio just is going to have to play better to prevent that. Level 7s now. We're actually seeing the slow on corruption, so trying to maximize the Q stacking. As now Star Fox in a bit of a pickle, waiting for Q to come back up online. Good discipline, but now needs Eldruin's might, and is actually going to get out just barely with 60 HP. It seemed that may have been a stall to ensure the bruisers can be picked up by Greymane and Lucio. Barely doing it, but they do grab it. But here comes the Arcane Punisher. Silence on the wall, great position. Punisher baited over the wall successfully. No real follow-up damage. It is on Blaze TDB, which is not the ideal situation. Blaze needs to be a bit careful, not take too much free damage. But Punisher going to be killed. Gate still up, but the front wall does go down. But overall, pretty well disarmed by Team GG. But now they need to see someone top, because this summoner camp they put in lane now gets no value, and it looks like they actually want to fight now, seeing Arthas up in the top lane. Huge engagement, but a silence is going to make them think twice about the engage. Here comes the dive, though, by Muradin and Tyrael. Blaze TDB taking so much poke damage, though. Missed chain by Subnova, not getting those stacks there. So, a very, very expensive engage in terms of resources. And now Subnova getting separated, and that is Kel'Thuzad Very probably going down. A big rip on the D-Rec, actually going to turn that fight around. Supnova making the plays there. Getting separated, not panicking, hitting the skill shot, and getting the kill onto D-Rec. Team GG, welcome to the series. And MJ Doom, as I look over the chat, you are in fact right. Took Icebound Fortitude there. But that is a good... Team GG, they're still losing. They're losing to race 10. They should be able to get it, though, before the next Punisher without any trouble. And provided they don't die, this could actually work out in their favor. 4-man push bot right now, trying to bait a reaction so they can build stacks. This is an interesting setup, though. But they managed to get that pick off. 2 for 2 in kills. Level 10s now, so we are seeing a disengage. It's going to be the Cocoon. Once again, the massive shove rather than flailing swipe. Very interesting. Horrify, Army of the Dead, and Riptire, though. Kind of surprised to see that. Massive Shove can get a lot of value on this map. The lanes are very wide. Also, there's very long straightaways, so Shove can do a lot. I mean, if you can get a shove onto Lucio, it would be a really good fight. KT past the halfway stack point. We're going to see Shadow Fissure, Sound Barrier, Sank, Avatar, and go for the throat. So let's see. 4-man fight in the bottom. Tyrael starting to rotate in. Arthas in the mid lane could get here. Looks like Tyrael wanting to go for the engage. There's the stun. Turnaround. Focus is on to Greymane. Looks like Greymane, or sorry, Gul'dan. Greymane caught in the cocoon. Going to actually allow a disengage, but Gul'dan does go down there, so a good, strong engage. Good separation by Junkrat to prevent a further chase. But there you go. You get the kill. You executed Gul'dan. Sets you up well for the Shrine. And Team GG actually playing this game much better. They're standing toe-to-toe with Reborne for the time being. And that's good. And it looks like they want to invade aggressively the Khazra camp here in bot. Although, keep in mind, Arthas Junkrat, they are going to be able to grab that Summoner camp. And the wall is already weak. There's only one cannon tower. So, something that GG may have to deal with. Still all the ultimates up on the side of GG. They still have the Sank. If they can get a lead down here, it could work out. There's the Summoner camp in lane. Here comes the engage. Separation with the Junkrat tire, but there goes Tyrael Murden onto the backline, focusing Junkrat. Blaze TDP, gonna have to blow the sound barrier with Sanctification coming out, though. And there's more damage coming out. Murden in the cocoon, about to break out. I think I heard a Riptire, but it actually got interrupted, as I believe did the Horrify. Murden still has Avatar. Go for the throat, still up. Shadow Fissure now coming back up. It's going to be Horrify and Riptire versus Go for the throat and Avatar. Here comes the Riptire. Being cautious with it, just keeping it around the point. Now Devo going to take that damage. D-Rec positioning in a way to pick out Lucio. Lucio steps up a bit, gets some Gul'dan poke. Here comes the engage. Massive shove. Forces Patches out. A great massive shove by Crosby. But Arthas is going to go down, though, as does Kel'Thuzad. Now Devo, bit of an awkward position. Horrify going to secure the kill with the Fell Flame. And now 24-23, Patches and Star Fox 64 trying to get some degree, but with both the damage down, it is going to be Reborne taking this Frozen Punisher in the bot lane. And this whole time, that Summoner can't push his top, and it's going to do quite a number on this top fort. Good win there, and Crosby zoning out Patches was absolutely critical to winning that fight. So a very strong massive shove. Very narrow gap. Hit right in this crevice here. So well done. And actually top fort did go down despite the rotation up. And so now Greymane's actually working on the Summoner camp with Muradin while the Punisher is about to push into bot keep. This is a risky choice. They gave up quite a bit of time to burn the Immortal. And now Lucio having to bait it back. Supnova needs to be careful. Could get frozen in place. Gate is down. Engage could come in. Kel'Thuzad throwing out the chain. There's a cocoon onto Tyrael. Punisher with a 3-man stun. Kel'Thuzad separated from the team. Gonna secure the kill. There's a Riptire off the back side of that. And that's a lot of damage, and this is definitely a keep going down. If they're not careful, this could be even more. Star Fox is low. Goodness, that could not have gone worse for GG. That could not have gone worse. And that's a keep down. 2 forts down and a keep down, basically off one Punisher phase. Off one fight lost on Shrine, paired with some, you know, just really good aggressive play on the side of Reborne. So Reborne, back in the driver's seat of this game. Now they're going to take the Khazra camp, and they're going to set themselves up to push into mid. They are sending up someone to deal with the Summoner camp up in the top lane. It will get cleaned up by Arthas. Meanwhile, though, patches all over Crosby. Crosby does not have massive shove at the moment. Dropping the silence to prevent Kel'Thuzad combo. Now Crosby, though, in a bad spot. Going to get locked out by the Holy Ground. Horrify. Not going to be enough. So Team GG with a little bit of breathing room, going to try to invade this Khazra camp. They're going to pick it up, despite the poke damage from Gul'dan, who does have his Fell Flame quest complete, and has Fell Armor now to help deal with that Kel'Thuzad burst, as well as potential Greymane go for the throats. Arthas, though, coming around for a flank. There's a good separation on the Star Fox. Star Fox not able to get the Sanctification off, dropping before it can be done. Patches goes down to the Riptire, and both tanks are down. Great engage by Unaverted on Junkrat. Actually set that all up. Sanctification not able to go down. And so, well done there by Reborne. Now with the 16s, and now Gul'dan post 16 is scary. This talent right here, Rampant Hellfire, it is not fun to fight into a shrine against that. Especially with the extended range, especially with all the slows that are there, the stuns from Anubarak. Gul'dan is just going to wreck face. This is a scary team fight coming up here on the mid shrine. Mid fort's basically dead on the side of Team GG. They need to try to find a way to get 16. Mid fort's just a lost cause. No reason to die trying to save it. But now Greymane can't step up to soak the lane because of the proximity of Reborn. And so now 16's not going to really be reached in time. That'd likely make an impact on the shrine. Bottom siege camp about to be picked up. Oh no, they should be able to get 16 in time. Bottom siege camp, though, picked up, and that will move on to the core with catapults. So that is something 100% cannot be ignored by GG. They need to have someone clearing that now, or they need to win the shrine very, very fast. And it looks like right now they're still trying to find 16s. Here comes the rotation down. Shrine already started. 10 skeletal minions picked up on the side of Reborn. Positioning very, very defensively here. Letting Gul'dan work the shrine nice and slow. There's the 16s picked up. Already, though, you can see how close this Khazra camp is. And they're just going to have to give up the Immortal. It's going to be the third Immortal going over to Reborn. This is going to be the Mortar Punisher. Bit of siege damage here. It's going to require a pretty amazing defense to save a keep here. As the rotation starts to come in. Gotta be careful, Junkrat. Here comes Star Fox baiting the Punisher over the wall. Doesn't actually bait it successfully. Didn't get the auto attack off. Now finally baiting over the wall, but the side gate's already broken out. Anubarak starting to play aggressively. Subnova once again separated from the team. Needs to be careful. Punisher down to half health. Direct. Has the chain on him, but with the structure in the way, going to be safe for the time being. Poke damage coming out. This Punisher is low. There's John Cena coming in. Riptire on the Devo. Nope. Riptire gets destroyed. Lucio getting silenced out of the cocoon. Punisher does go down, but it is a keep taken by Reborn. So Reborn playing that one safe. We got the keep. We're going to get out. We're on our way to 20. Junkrat actually helping Muradin engage onto him. Now here comes the dodge, but a turnaround with the silence. Sound barrier has to be blown. There's a Horrify. Devo very low. Shadow Fissure collecting 3 in the back. So much damage. Patches looking for the engage. Junkrat still trying to poke away on the Devo. Make it hard for him to engage. Here comes the engage once again on the Gul'dan. Gul'dan going to be able to turn around. Massive shove pushes out Tyrael. Tyrael still has Sanctification. They could go for a kill with the dive. There's the Sanctification now, trying to make something happen. They're moving on to Showtime. Showtime taking a lot of damage. There's the Kel'Thuzad route. Showtime down to 500 health, but Devo also low. Shadow Fissure going to do quite a bit of damage. Showtime down to 300 health, but going to be able to get away. And it looks like Patches is going to drop here. No, Patches starting to get away. Could do it. There's a route. Going to get out Gul'dan, but with the Cocoon, they have to break out Subnova. And if Team GG disengages this, my goodness. What an insane fight. Having to respond to catapults on core now, though, as it's doing real damage. I'm just amazed Team GG got out of that alive. I love the aggression. They weren't able to convert any kills. Very, very good fight management by Reborne. Just denying the kills extremely well. And, but at the same time, like, I can't fault GG for anything they did in that fight. I thought they played it well. I thought they did a good job trying to pick their target. It just came down to slightly better execution and all the heals of Stukov. Trying to move on to the point, into the silence. There's the Horrified. Tyrael very low. Sound barrier has to be blown. Meanwhile, Muradin once again on the backline. Riptire going to separate out Muradin. Muradin very low, trying to get away. There comes the sound barrier. A lot of damage coming out. There's... Ooh, they got onto D-Rek, and the Cocoon does not save him. Kel'Thuzad with the kill. 2 camps pressuring. Camp pressuring top, keep, Summoner camp, Khosra camp, and mid. And so even though they get an Uberak, it's going to be hard for Team GG to do much with this. These fights are getting really chaotic, and I'm really liking how Team GG is playing these post-16 fights. It's just, how far are they behind? You look at it. They have a cannon bot. They have a wall mid. They have a wall top. Even if they win this Punisher, it's going to be very difficult, and they're not going to have 20 in time. Whereas, on the side of Reborn, 20 is potentially there. As now, starting up the shrine, this is going to be frozen. Muradin keeping vision for the team. And this is, I mean, this is a pretty desperate situation for GG. They may have to take a fight 19 and 20, as horrible as that is to do. They cannot, then it looks like Tyrael going to rotate up. If they could get a pick, they might be able to do something. This is just such a bad macro position, though. And it looks like they're going to rotate away. They're going to try to protect their core from these camps. Try to grab 20. This Punisher should be picked up pretty quickly on the side of Reborn. And Reborn, just so much map control. 6 structures to 1. You know, kill counts even, but just the macro play has been so strong. Junkrat setting up his trap in the bush, getting some vision. Paving the way for John Cena to come in. And it's going to be 5v5 engage. Level 20, not going to be here in time. They're just going to have to deal with this. On the Storm Talents, we do have the Rewind out of a Nubarak. We do have, actually, Bio Explosion Switch, Horrify, Death's Advance, and Boom Pow. Level 20 might come in with this wave, if they can get it safely. John Cena baited expertly by Blaze away. Here comes the move onto the core. Still no 20. Ooh, separation on the Star Fox. Star Fox in a bit of trouble. Still no 20. John Cena starting to move towards the core. The keep gets dropped. Subnova is separated. Now Subnova can res, I believe. But trying to get away, Lucio actually goes down in the midst of that attempt to disengage. John Cena getting 2 stunned on the backside. There's Kel'Thuzad landing the combo onto a Nubarak, but Kel'Thuzad getting the Cocoon. Star Fox trying to break out. Is the Sanctification going to be able to come out? It does, barely saving Kel'Thuzad, but Kel'Thuzad only has moments to live, but there's a huge Shadow Fissure going to take out Stukov, and they might be able to turn this. Kel'Thuzad is down. I don't think he can return. Greymane goes down. Oh, and Tyrael goes down as well. So this is going to be the game, but almost got 3 kills in that last fight. And, my goodness. That was a much better game. I'm really glad that Team GG came out and played well in that second game. But ultimately, Reborne, you know, they're one of the top teams in Division A for a reason. And, boy, they showed it. But, you know, you gotta give them credit. Team GG played really well. Yes, they lost structures badly, but they had really clean team fights, I thought, once they got 16s. They did a really good job disengaging. Just a couple problems with the Junkrat, I think, was what threw them off. Their Junkrat separation basically forced a weird engage that got Lucio killed before the fight started, right as 20 was about to be picked up. But, very, very strong game by Team GG. But we're going to see if we can get a member of Reborne in for an interview, so we'll be right back here on the Nexus Gaming Series. Give me 1 sec. Sorry, I think I don't have this. I think everyone's hearing me right now. Alright. We're back. I am joined by Crosby of Reborne. Crosby, congrats on the 2-0 victory, and let me make sure to update the overlay to reflect that. Good 3 points to get into the score column. How are you feeling after that?
Pretty good. All right, we had 2 1-1s coming into this game, and it was good to get back on the 2-0 side of things.
Who was your second 1-1 against, if I may ask?
It was Macaroni and Cheese, and
I casted that one.
Who was the one before it?
Team Caliber, maybe? Or
no, I'll have to look it up. It was one of the other teams.
Yeah.
Okay. Fratress. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, they're a pretty good team as well. Okay. So good to get the win. Dominant map number 1. I mean, do you have much to say about the first game? I have something to say. You picked popping pustules, and we have not seen a lot of that. Is that something you pick because of all the choke points on BOE, or is that just kind of I felt like playing it?
It's kind of a me special. Out of all of the talents on that tier, it's my favorite, especially into Lucio's. Just because if I get one slow, I can generally get their entire team. Right. And counteract the movement speed. So it's kind of a me special. The team's used to it, but I'm glad you noticed, because nobody else in the history of NGS has ever actually noticed. So
we actually once had a conversation in Discord about popping pustules, and you kind of made me a believer at times. So yeah, I was actually happy to see it come out. I mainly wanted to know why on BOE and not on Shrines. And I guess it was just because of the Kel'Thuzad, you needed the extra silence.
Yeah, we were going back and forth on it, but the Kel'Thuzad kind of forced the E build, which I personally hate. But we needed the zoning power, so.
All right. Well, hopping into then game number 2. In terms of fighting, was a back and forth game, but you guys managed to just out macro. Like, what do you think it was something specific that you did that when GG looks at the replay, they'll realize they did wrong? Or do you think overall it was just that when the team fights were won, you won the most important one?
I need to go back and watch the VOD, because at least from my perspective, I was stressed the entire time, just because Stukov into Kel'Thuzad feels awful.
Right.
So I'll have to go back and watch the VOD. Honestly, it immediately after, I have no idea.
Just because you're one of the top supports in NGS, and because everyone tells me to pick Stukov and Hero League into Kel'Thuzad all the time, and I just want to prove that I said something right. Why exactly is Lucio so hard into Kel'Thuzad?
Lucio or Stukov?
Sorry, Stukov.
It's a burst mitigation thing. So if they can chunk you down and you have to blow your D before his combo goes off, there's just no saving it. They're gone.
Plus, if you don't have your Q on the target when the combo hits,
it's a lot of micro that Stukov generally can get away without having to play. So it's at least the way I play Stukov, I like to play him a little more aggressively, and when there's a Kel'Thuzad there, I have to play super passive. So it just feels awful. You feel like a heal bot. So
I apologize for those watching stream me looking at my feet. My foot is being attacked by a wild kitten at the moment. A very ferocious kitten. But yeah, so now looking down the stretch, I believe you still have yet to play Team Caliber. Is that correct?
Correct. I believe we have Caliber and the other one left to come still. And Do You Know? Yeah, we have Caliber and Do You Know still left on the schedule. I'd have to look and see when they are. Unfortunately, I'm going on vacation this weekend, so...
I would say like you guys, and then you throw Fratris into that, are a really strong top 6 for NGS. Looking at Division A this season compared to past seasons, specifically last season, there was Team Cynics who kind of ran away with it at times. Do you think this is a very balanced division? Do you think that it's still like there's probably one or two teams that are like way above the rest?
I need to see how, and I haven't checked to see if any of the other quote unquote top 6 have played each other and what the splits have been. Unfortunately, the standings haven't been updated, so I can't see if anybody won if say Fratres played Caliber. But assuming everybody's going the way our games went with Fratres and Macaroni, and the way scrims are going, the top half of the division feels pretty competitive, at least more so than compared to last season when Cynics was just stomping the crap out of everybody. So
all right. Well, with that, thanks for letting me cast. Do you have shoutouts?
Yeah, sure. Just shout out to Team Reborne. We just got a new Twitter guy who I forget who he is, but he's been doing a great job. And shout out.
I said nothing.
Yeah, shout out to the team, and just looking forward to starting our first HGC Open on Monday, which will be fun to see how we do. Hopefully, we get past the first round. So
there's a lot of NGS teams in the Open, and I'm definitely going to be cheering for all of them. I think even people who were in the league that aren't in it this season to just focus on Open, definitely going to be cheering for those guys. But be interesting to see. Well, with that. Thanks for letting me cast. Had a great time. Sorry for kind of like not waiting until today to pick it up. Schedule was still in flux, but I definitely
that's okay.
I love casting you guys.
Our manager got way ahead of thing and scheduled the thing like 2 weeks ago, so it's fine.
And we still couldn't get a caster. Anyway, but we did, so we're glad we were able to do that. Well, with that, I am DB Smiley. I'm wearing a t-shirt literally from high school, and I've been out of high school for 12 years. But nonetheless, you can find me at twitch.tv/dbsmiley. Additionally, you can follow me at twitter.com/deathbysmiley, where I tweet about HGC and about NGS, and usually just random bullshit about bitching about